As we come to the end of the lesson on close and critical reading across informational text, we're going to look at a cross-text matrix comparing the text, and for your assignment, you will complete this using the political cartoon that we examined in the last lesson. You can see that the information that we've gathered from each of the texts includes the title and author, what type of text it is, the structure of the text, a central idea, the supporting details, vocabulary or background that we needed, which we could look at as puzzling words because they were things essential to our understanding, words or phrases that indicate tone. This would be our connotation, and we did that exercise, as well as a one-sentence summary. So our first text was FDR's State of the Union Address. So that's the title and the author. It could be spelled out that this was Franklin Delano Roosevelt instead of FDR. And of course, it was a speech. It was cause and effect. Because this happened, this is what we need to do. Because we believe this, this is what's going on. And the central idea is that freedom is an inherent right of humanity. If you want to look at it as the main idea of the entire passage, that would be what the central idea is. Remember that it's going to be of the entire text, not just a particular area we demonstrated in the videos. The supporting details, that's what tells us that this central idea is confirmed. And remember, we use the text itself to support that. So we have two quotes here, but as time went on, as we remember the American people began to visualize what the downfall of democratic nations might mean to our own democracy. Freedom means the supremacy of human rights everywhere. So those quotes support the central idea of freedom as an inherent right of humanity. Vocabulary or background that was needed to understand the text included an isolationism, the French Revolution, the War of 1812, partisanship, and armament. Please note this is not a complete listing of vocabulary or background for comprehension, but just what we've identified as we go through the text. Words or phrases that indicate a tone were unprecedented, disturbed, engaged, poisonous, assailants, threatening, unique, and devoted. And then a one-sentence summary. This is different than the central idea, although they can be related. So for FDR's State of the Union address, the one-sentence summary is in order to preserve democracy in the United States, at times will require intervention in defense of democracy around the world. Moving on to the next text, which was the blog on the internet freedom fallacy and how that related to the Arab digital activism. You could see that the type of text was a blog. This was a problem solution, so here was the problem and what he believed the solution would be. The central idea is that the U.S. has a conflict of interest in developing internet policy for the world, and you can see that was very much related to our subsequent texts. Then we have the definitions, the quotes that support that, including many people outside of the U.S., not only in the Arab world, have a strong feeling that the internet freedom mantra emitting from Washington, D.C. is just a cover for strategic geopolitical agendas. The words that were necessary for understanding or the background were geopolitical, Arab Spring, digital activism, grassroots, and remember we saw that, revisited, authoritarian regime, and fallacy. Some of the connotations or the words that indicated tone were extract, hypocritical, infiltrating, repression, and collusion. And summarizing it in a sentence, the United States government should not be involved in policies of international internet freedom. That was the blog writer's position. And the last example was the video, U.S. supports both sides in Egypt. We know it was a news interview and compare and contrast. We have left the rest of the table open for you as we did with the the digital image, the political cartoon of the Pulitzer and the Arab Spring. We've identified it's a political cartoon and its cause and effect. What you need to do is go to the submission button on the lesson on this page, and you need to identify for text 3 and text 4, you need to identify the central idea, the supporting details, the vocabulary or background for comprehension, and those should be available from your digital text notes for text 3, words or phrases that indicate tone, and a one-sentence summary. So apart from the political cartoon, the other text, you really should have supporting details, vocabulary, and words that indicate tone already in your documents in your close and critical reading margin notes. It's just a matter of gathering them and placing them into the actual assignment submission. And don't forget your one sentence summary that will need to be submitted. This is our last look. You will complete a final reflection after you have completed this assignment.